All right, family, we should be live right now. Let me fix my mic. All right. All right, family, we should be live right now with the one and only Professor Griff. Oh,
Yeah,
let me turn this down.
we're gonna get that Monday thing together, man, because we be on the
Yeah,
move.
yeah, we gotta get used to that. We gotta get used to that. Griff ain't used to the whole Monday schedule.
Yeah,
Back on schedule, family.
because normally Monday I'm coming back from someplace or headed out too. Yeah,
Indeed.
yeah.
Even if we gotta change the day, we'll talk about it. We'll see what
All right.
what works. But what's important is that we here right now, and the families coming in the chat room. Shout out Wu Moon, David, Lauren Fire, the internet savior, Lady J. Peace to everybody in the chat room. Make sure y'all hit the like. Make sure let all your friends and family know that Professor Griff and Brother Rich is live right now. Let's get this thing going tonight, y'all. We're gonna be on here for about 45 minutes to an hour, something like that. We're gonna have a good conversation. Welcome back, my brother, Professor Griff.
Thanks. It's a pleasure to be back, man. Pleasure to be back. Give me the link on where people can see the interview.
Oh shit! What you mean? Send it to you or?
No, just tell me. I can pull it up right here and send it to the person that's asking me.
Oh shit! I don't know. I mean, just
Go
tell
right
me.
to your YouTube channel, right?
Yeah. Go straight to the YouTube channel. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I got you.
Black Magic 363.
All right, cool.
And that'd be good.
Yeah.
That'd be good. Yeah, I was just watching Phil, Dr. Valentine with Red and Blue. They started at like 9, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching them. Phil, Dr. Valentine was definitely dropping it. Definitely.
Okay.
Listen, Professor Griff, I want to talk to you. Have a great conversation with you today, my brother, about mental health. This is something I'm sure we talked about it in the past, and I want to touch on it again. There was a story recently with the ex-NBA basketball player Delonte West,
Right.
a viral video filmed by a cop. He actually got suspended for leaking the video, the officer that filmed it.
Oh, wow.
And he looked toe up. He was in cuffs, and part of the video he was getting beat up in another part of the video, and he was talking crazy, and people saying he's bipolar and everything. And it usually hits harder when people see somebody rich, kind of bugging out, because in everybody's perception, they're like, nigga, you got money. Why are you crazy? Why you're bipolar? They think crazy bipolar is associated with some people with finances for some reason, or unhappiness is associated with finances, and money's the fixer all. Once you have this money, all of these problems magically go away. So when people see something like that, it kind of hits harder. So I want to talk to you about that, and why exactly is mental health one of the most popular subjects in pop culture, subculture, whatever culture you want to call it, extremely popular. Let's start out like this, Professor Griff. Do you feel, with so many people talking about mental health these days, do you think we're weaker as a society, or do you think we're more honest about our emotions and our feelings?
I think the latter. I think we're more open and we're more transparent about our feelings due to the fact that, well, what contributes to that, let me say it that way. What contributes to that is the fact that we've seen some people that were dear to us on the music scene, on the musical platform, on the television platform, the small screen, the large screen. We seen them get taken away from us, and it's like social media has helped us understand that, wow, this is real. There was actually that song that I like. They were actually crying out for help. That movie that they portrayed that role of that person in, they fit that role because they were actually crying out for help. Social media has allowed us now to see this up close and in person. And I think, no, we're not weaker. I think we're stronger. It's just that we don't know the tall tale signs. And with the tall tale signs, and even with we hearing people cry out, we still don't know how to help them. because what was the remedy for our family, for the black family? You know what the remedy was? Yo, what happened to Tay-Tay, man? Oh, his mom sent him down south.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? So we just didn't see him no more. So the next time we saw him, oh man, yeah, I went down south, man, to visit my grandmother. You understand what I'm saying? Or my mom wanted to send me to a private school, and she didn't want to send him to a private school. She just didn't want them to tease her son by seeing him on the little yellow bus. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And that was the way to protect him. So no, to answer your question directly, I think we're braver and we're more transparent because we have to be, because social media is always, everyone always got a phone and a camera in your face in their hand filming something. So we're seeing it firsthand. The cop filmed Delonte, and we saw it because they said he was missing for 4 years, pardon me. And no one's really heard from him. Then all of a sudden, when we hear from him, this is what we see. So something was going on in those years that he kind of kept to himself. And this whole mental health issue is a stigma in the black family and in the black community. And we just kind of keep things to ourselves because we don't want to appear weak and vulnerable and open.
Do you think it's because why you mentioned the black community, why in the black community mental health, a lot of people think, is a stigma and viewed differently than other communities? Why do you think it's because we associate ourselves with, this whole cool thing with the masters of cool? So, and we're supposed to be strong, we're supposed to be bravado. Is that why we don't take it as serious?
I think, but because we have survived all that we've survived. And I think we have the Teflon Don kind of vibe and aura about us that we cannot be broken. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? And with that, even when we do, quote unquote, make it, and we know what that really means, be closer to white people and make more money and be able to have enough money to kind of call the shots in your own life. You understand what I'm saying? And we equate that with having a whole bunch of money, but it seems like we don't know how to handle that particular dynamic. So a lot of times when our friends see us in those roles or in that role, we say, yo, man, so-and-so's out of his damn mind. But literally, we almost lose our minds. You understand what I'm saying? So right. Then when people look at us and they see the crack in the armor, they say, wow, man, so-and-so is changing. It's not necessarily a bad thing if you're changing for the good or you're trying to understand yourself. All right. The self-realization aspect of it, because you're coming into a greater awareness about yourself, and we see people struggling with it and we try to hold on. So this whole idea of appearing weak to the world, even with us, with men, appearing weak to our homeboys, appearing weak, even in what we do on social media. We don't want to appear weak. Look at you and I right now. Look at your hat and look at mine. We wear the crowns because we want to appear majestic, royal, strong. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But soon as we see a crack in the armor, there's something where we don't look at it and embrace it like, okay, he's changing, but he's changing for the better. He's not the same person that he used to be. Well, hell, I'm 20, it's 2020. I'll be 60 this year. I'm not supposed to be the same as I was 5 years ago. You understand? So if you see a crack in the armor, maybe it's not a bad thing. The idea, though, of seeing Black people go through what we go through, everyone else in the world sees us as that people that have made it through slavery and everything else that has been put on us. And they really truly look at us as the strength.
So, I mean, but Griff, you don't think it's weird? You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You don't think it's weird? I remember there was a meme going around about, last year I seen a meme going around. Now, there's a lot of, you talked about historically what we have been through as a people. And the meme was talking about bullying and how people are shooting up schools, or, children's just doing all types of things as a result of bullying or whatever. And they showed a picture of sisters walking home from school back in the 60s, and the dogs was coming after them, and the white people was throwing rocks at them, and they I mean, we had to go through all types of stuff when right. Back in the 60s and the 70s. I don't know exactly what decade that was, but I mean, the level of pressure and just trauma that we went through then, I mean, it doesn't compare now. So why are people killing themselves now? I don't recall hearing any stories of that happening in the 60s and the 70s. So you don't think that's kind of weird?
I think it's kind of weird, but what attributes to the fact that what aids to that is the way we're living our lives. We didn't live our lives the way we live our back then. We didn't live our lives like that, like we live them today. Look at the things that contribute to the mental illness. The food.
Okay.
What we're smoking and drinking. What we're watching on social media and television and movies as far as the violence is concerned. Mm-hmm. The mere fact that we have nothing to balance that out. Mm-hmm. And when you leave the movie after watching the superhero guy kill about 80 people, what happens now with you? You digested this and you're processing this. Now what happens? Look at the way we're feeding our spirit and our minds. Look what surrounds us. You understand what I'm saying? Can we stop for a moment and say, does junk food lead to people that are prone to violence? Does social media lead to aggressive behaviors? Does staying on social media all day and digesting that madness, does it lead to a degree of depression? Cell phone use, does it affect the brain to the point? Yeah. So we taking all of this into account today. We didn't have that yesterday. I was in the Uber today on my way back from Orlando, Florida this morning. And the Uber driver was talking to me and I said, remember a time where your mom and dad used to say, they want to know, are you going to be home for dinner? Because the dinner table was the place where you had the discussions and you received the instructions. You told them, how was your day, honey? Mm-hmm. And then you discuss those things, and that's where it gets dealt with. But no, the generational trauma that Black people have to go through, we say, no, what goes on in this house, you keep that in this house. You don't discuss it with anyone. You understand what I'm saying? So some of the things that you might want to get out because of what you're feeling and what you're going through, you might want to express it and let it out and talk to someone. Mm-hmm. Whereas in the white homes, yeah, they got therapists on deck. Mm. They see them every Thursday, every 2 Thursdays. You understand what I'm saying? Right. So, because they're keeping that thing balanced and in check. So when you talk about the school shootings and the violence and this kind of thing, there's a lot of things that contribute to that, but you don't find us doing that. It's almost seems like there's a mechanism in us that checks that until we start imitating someone else.
Indeed.
Or someone else, or someone else's culture.
Do you think it's easier to lose your mind if you have more money because you have access to, more drugs or, more women if you're a guy or more whatever? Do you think it's easy to lose your mind?
Yes, and I've said that recently in reference to bipolar disorder, in reference to Kanye West. If you and I come up with an idea, like for example, you gave me a website a couple of weeks ago to look up to see if I wanted to, take advantage of what they was offering or whatever. Mm-hmm. I looked at that website and that price was way above my pay grade. Mm-hmm. I couldn't do that. You understand what I'm saying? Now, can a Kanye West take advantage of that? Can a Kanye West have 100 people in a choir show up, this Sunday and perform and whatever? See, with that money and having access to those resources, yeah, you can pretty much have free will to do what you want to and however you want to do it. You understand what I'm saying? Because people respond. It comes it has a lot to do with who you are and then the resources that you have. So yeah, it seems like with money, you are freer, you're more open, you have more access to, like, for example, on a small scale, when you was just a regular dude up on the block, the regular DJ at the high school or the youth center, you was, okay, cool. You would go outside and light up with your friends. But now that you DJ so-and-so and you on tour, opening up for yada, 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 you understand what I'm saying? Now you get it for free. You understand what I'm saying? People offer it to you in every city. So I think it's very noticeable. It's very noticeable that those people that with money, listen, let's ask a question. If money was to solve, if money could solve all these issues, why are the people with the money killing themselves? You know, it shocked me because I wasn't necessarily a fan of his, but I like watching his show, man. Who's the dude? Anthony Bourdain?
Yeah, the food guy.
Yeah, I mean, that shocked me because I'm thinking, wow, what better job could you have, man, traveling around the world, meeting people, right? Eating. I was like, wow, man. And it almost seems like these people sit on top of the world, man. But Taraji P. Henson said it best. She says, when I take off this wig and these eyelashes and this clothes and I come up out of that role and go home, ish is real, bro. I got the same problems you have. Because, you know, her son was battling with that.
I didn't know.
She said, I have the same problems you have, man. And I feel the system, man. The same problems, bro. Wow. And we have to deal with them whether we have money or not. And you would think a sister like that, where she is, she should be able to, should be in a position where she have resources to get her son, and she has access to get her son the necessary help. Shaliqua, who lives in the projects, that her man ain't there no more. She's raising the baby by herself. She don't have that access, bro. She just got to tough it out, man. She got to tough it out, bro.
You know, you talked about money. Do you think the idea, you know, a lot of us, the first thing we say in our minds is, you know, yo, if I become a millionaire, I'm gonna take care of my moms, I'm gonna take care of my family, I'm gonna take care of this. When we start thinking about our loved ones that we want to take care. And is that a dangerous concept to have in your mind, or idea to have in your mind, or thought to have in your mind? Because it creates a lot of pressure. And I hear a lot of people, once they become famous, they say, yo, you know, it was just the pressure. Everybody's depending on me, and I just couldn't take it, because you have 40 people on a payroll. And if anything goes wrong, you're responsible for 40, 50 people. So do you think that's a kind of a dangerous thing to allow yourself to do, to want to take care of the whole village?
Oh, of course. It's not your duty and responsibility to take care of the whole village. I think the better thing to do, and I've always said this in my mind because I had to give this advice to a couple of people that I know. I says, rather than taking the money that you've made and the money that you make and disperse it out every time you get a lump sum, won't you just hold off for a couple of months, put 3 of those lump sums together, create a business where everyone can work, all right? Okay. And make their own money.
Right.
Yeah. So if you feed the business will feed everyone else. So people put themselves in that position. I've heard that from a few people that I know. I got 20 people depending on me, man. Yeah. And they don't have to put themselves in that position. It's nice that you do that, but you know, I think Brian McKnight just went through that. He told his son and daughter, or his 2 sons or something, it's like, look, certain such and such and such a date, y'all got to take care of that. I can't do it no more. Right. Here's the apartment. I paid for your education. I brought you this far. Now I got to cut the umbilical cord. Yeah. That's it.
Did you see the movie The Joker, Professor Griff?
I wanted to, and what I read about it, and my mind wasn't there. I probably couldn't handle it. I was just like, no, not right now.
It was the first R-rated movie to hit 1 billion worldwide.
Wow.
Yeah. So I want to ask you, why do you think that movie resonated with the consciousness of people, where it became the first R-rated movie to hit 1 billion?
From what I read about it, some people would say it's a first-hand look of what people with that kind of quote unquote disorder goes through. And the actor did such a marvelous job in portraying that. It almost seems too real. And this is what I was reading about. And I think people paid because it was realer than reality shows. It was like, wow, he's really showing us what this thing really looks like to live that kind of life and to live that kind of existence. And that's as much as I could say about it, because I don't want to be a hypocrite because I haven't saw the movie. I just read about the movie. I read about the movie and I wanted to see it. And the reason why I read about it, because I wanted to go see it, because I wanted to talk about it, the whole idea of the condition of mental health and the state of mind that this society produces, the kind of characters, the kind of mindset that this society produces.
What do you think? Is there something wrong with the Delonte West? He was getting beat up in the video, and they say people was just driving by and watching it. A lot of people feel as though you learn from experience, or you learn from your own experience or somebody else's experience. A lot of people feel like, listen, once somebody intervenes, they could get shot, they could get stabbed. It usually backfires on them. I'm not intervening when I see something going on outside. The best thing I could do is call a cop. So people don't step in like how they used to step in back in the day. Is something wrong with that too? Do you think that's the right approach we should take, or is there right or wrong in that?
No, there's not a right or wrong in that. I made a mistake and tried to step in between two women. And I caught it. So I'm like you. No, I'm not. The way I'm intervening is I'm gonna yell, chill out. Y'all don't need to do that. Blah, 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 blah. Whatever I feel at that particular moment that will reach them. And then at the same time, I got to call either the EMS, 911, 511, somebody, something. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's just hard for me to sit back and watch it. Now, if I'm there and I don't know, Lizzo is getting into some drama and somebody punching and beating on her, you understand what I'm saying? Come on, I'm not gonna let nobody do that to no woman. You understand what I'm saying? Whether it's Lizzo, Trina, Beyonce, or whoever. You understand what I'm saying? As a man, I feel compelled to step in and say something or physically do something. Grab somebody, hold them, ask them to chill out, whatever. And maybe they might say, okay, that's Griff. I'm gonna do this for you, bro. And a couple of brothers have said that to me. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not gonna smoke them because of you. You understand what I'm saying? But if you wasn't here, I'm like, okay, thanks, bro. I really appreciate that, man. Really appreciate that. Give a brother another chance to live, man. You understand what I'm saying? So, yeah, I would probably have to reassess how we have to intervene, Brother Rich, for real, man. Yeah. I taught a self-defense class recently, and it is very difficult to get across and get through to people the idea of what we say to one another. I know I say it every day to people. Peace. How you feel? Everything good? All right. We check on one another. That's our way of checking on one another.
Right.
I've said that recently to a few people, man, and brothers don't even respond, man. They just don't respond, because one brother said to me, and this is real, man. He said, yo, man, you really want pounding his fist. Yo, you really want to know how I feel? You really want to know how I feel? I'm like, that's just like, I'm just checking on you, bro. You understand what I'm saying? And it got real hostile real quick, went from 0 to 60. And I'm like, you understand what I'm saying? You don't want to know how I feel, man. You really don't, bro. And I'm like, well, just asking you. Maybe there's some advice I could give you, whatever.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Do you, as far as being a black man in this society, and they saying one of the things we don't do is show our emotions. I remember Meek Mill was talking about when he was locked up and he was seeing crazy shit in jail and it was breaking him down. And I don't know if he told his moms, he told somebody, a female in his life. And she said, yo, I don't want to ever hear you talk like this again. And he was like, oh shit. So he just had to bottle it up and he couldn't talk about it with nobody. And he said that shit affected him. But, a lot of brothers don't show their emotions, Griff, even to the point where, brothers think if they get caught crying, that's a sign of weakness in a man. Talk to me about the black men in general and their emotional well-being, as far as our lack of being able to express how we feel to each other and to the opposite sex.
Well, even before we get to the conversation about the opposite sex, just the mere fact that we have a myriad of things to be angry about, and it's compiled things on top of things. And it almost seems like the next thing that brother gonna break. So we have to be able to find tension outlets. All right. We have to be able to set up micro resolution, conflict resolution within the self now. Outlets. Like I have to be, let me do this because, like, for example, and I'm being real transparent. Me and my wife set up 3 things. We set up meditation pillows at the foot of the bed. When there's an issue and we want to connect and we want to talk, sometimes we sit on the meditation pillows. And guess what we do, Brother Rich? We be quiet.
Right.
Calm the mind. Be quiet. I know you're upset, blah, 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 but just be quiet for a minute until we collect it. And then we say this, then we say to one another, okay, that's my husband I'm talking to. Yo, that's my wife I'm talking to. So let me talk in such a way where it's about healing, not about I want to be right and I need you to hear me, but you don't never listen and blah, 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 blah. None of that. When we in that sacred space that we created, then it's time to be quiet. The other thing we created, I know it's gonna sound corny. You can laugh if you want to. Marriage day. No cell phone, no work, nobody bothering us, me and her, whatever it is that we want to talk about, whatever it is we want to do, wherever it is we want to go. That could be movies, dinner, park, whatever, or that could just be, let's take a drive. Let's go someplace we've never been. Let's go to an antique shop. Let's go to a thrift store. You understand what I'm saying? Whatever it is, we have to take that time out to disconnect. The last thing is, and trust me, I'm just giving this. And I'm not trying to sound like no relationship kind of dude where I got it all together and I know. I'm just telling you what I do. The last thing is we treat the relationship like relationship is an entity. So it's me, it's her, and then it's this thing right here that we support, we take care of, we put water on it, we nourish it, we protect it, we guard it. And this is our thing right here. And we don't let anyone damage that. You understand what I'm saying? So then the things that we live by. Now, one of the main things that we live by, we leave people and places better than we found them. So even if I got a disagreement with you, at the end of that quote unquote argument or discussion, I can't leave Brother Rich broken. I can't leave Brother Rich angry. I can't leave Brother Rich in that condition. I got to leave you better than I found you. You understand what I'm saying? And this is some of the glue that we use to keep it together, man. So then when I do get weak sometime and want to express, then I know I can come to her and we good. Not only on a relationship tip, I got male friends around me that I've called recently about situations. It's like, can you help me out with this? They're like, yeah, man, do me a favor. Sit tight, chill. I got this. Let me see if I can get some information for you and give you a call back. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. I want people to know that I'm that dude for them. That what we discuss is between us. And if I can get you some help, I got you, man. And it's between you and I. You understand what I'm saying? But I need you to hold it together though. And it ain't nothing wrong. Let me tell you something, man. Many brothers have cried on the phone to me, man, while I'm on the phone. And I listen and I'm there. I said, nah, bro, don't feel weak. You got to let it out, man. Just express yourself. And whether I'm on the phone for 5 minutes or 2 hours, I have to do it because I don't want that brother jumping up no bridge because of me, man. He left a note. The last person he talked to on his cell phone was Professor Griff. You understand what I'm saying? Right. And I'm like, nah, I'm gonna do all that I can do. It's not weakness when we cry, man. You cry because you kind of want to get it out, and you really truly want somebody to listen and not listen, bro. All this information we have, information is not transformation, man. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say that again.
That's deep. I like that.
It don't transform you, man. It's the taking the information and doing something with it. The application of information is transformative. Just because you have it, that don't mean you're supposed to transform into the scholar. Right, you gotta study it. You got to apply it. So it is with these therapeutic kind of people that talk, and they're charging you $200 per every half hour to try to help you solve the issue. The issue is right in here, man. If I break down, I might want to say, Brother Rich, can you do me a favor, man? I'm having this issue with my uncle because I don't like him putting his hands on my auntie. I mean, can you give me some advice? And if you really don't know, say, Griff, you know something, man? I know somebody, but I can't help you with that. I didn't get no training with that. I don't have no experience with that. But call brother so-and-so. You understand what I'm saying? And then maybe we can get help that way. You see, that's that infrastructure, Brother Rich. That's that support unit that we need to put in place, man. I had an interesting conversation. I can't mention his name because I told him I was going to keep it under wrap. An interesting conversation with someone that we all know just yesterday. And it was pleasant. We were open to one another. We was real. And some of the stuff, the friction that we had, we put it behind us. It's like, look, man. I said, look, I'm going to be 60, man. He said, yeah, I'm going to be so and so and so. So I'm like, look, let's just move forward, man. You understand what I'm saying? Let's move forward in whatever it is in due time. Let's stay in touch with one another. And if you wake up, tomorrow and you say, yo, this is what I got an issue with. Where you going with? Where you at? Let's meet. Let's sit down and talk. I said, I'm open. Let's make it happen. We're resolving these things so both of us can move on. I have to do that, man, because I got to leave people better than I found them, man.
Let me ask you this, Griff. Some people, in the community we're in, especially in consciousness, some people look at personal happiness as sort of something selfish in terms of when it relates to nation building. So let me explain what I mean. Somebody may say, I want to be happy, and let's say this white woman is making me happy, or just something that doesn't benefit the community of Black people as a whole makes me happy. So the nation will say, people will say it's selfish for you to do that because we're trying to build a nation. So do you think personal happiness is less or more important than nation building and what we're going through right now as a community?
I don't know. The African proverb is I am because we are. Therefore I am. In order for me to be a stronger man, to build a stronger relationship, to build a stronger family, to help build a stronger community, to help build a stronger nation, yeah, I want to be happy doing that. I don't want to be sad or angry all the time. I always want to be reactionary all the time because, and I've made up my mind with my channel. I said, I'm not going to always come on and talk about the brother that got shot over in that city, and the brother that got shot in this city, and the sister that got raped over here, and they swindled Black people out of money over here, and they took Black people's land over here, and they stabbed that brother. It's like, okay, what about all the other stuff? What about moving us forward? So I decided that if I am going to continue on doing the work that I'm doing, I have to be able to contribute and be happy contributing what I'm contributing. If I truly know and understand my life's work, I can't do this unhappy, Brother Rich. I can't constantly come on and talk about all the negative things in society and what we're going through as though there's nothing positive happening. You understand what I'm saying? I was joking with somebody several months ago. They said, man, you heard from Brother Rich? I said, no, man. He says, so what happened with y'all? I said, nothing. Ain't nothing happened. I mean, the man went from Brother Rich to Father Rich, and so, okay, he put some other things in place. He's doing the Kambada thing and some other thing. It's like, so because we haven't been on, there has to be something wrong. Ain't nothing wrong. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So I said, no, he's good. If I talk to him 2 years from now, he good. We good. We can pick up where we left off.
Indeed.
You understand what I'm saying? They just didn't understand it because what happened to the Griff brother Rich relationship because they didn't see it. I'm like, it's still there. It has to grow. And sometimes when you grow, you have to pull back, reassess things because people don't realize the social media platforms are changing.
Right.
They're being more restrictive. Am I right or wrong?
Oh, big time.
So we have to be more strategic in how we move.
Yeah.
Rather than being on the phone late at night, we rather do the video thing. We want people to see the expression. It's changing and we're moving and we're changing with it. That's being flexible. That's all.
Right. I want to ask the people real quick. I've seen a couple of people talking about the audio went out. How's the audio, family? Let me know how the audio is, family. Can you hear Brother Rich? Let me know how the audio is. Yeah, let me know how the audio is real quick, family. All right. Great. Okay, so the family's saying, okay. All right, it's back. Better. It's back to normal. Okay. Let me just make sure my volume is up. Okay, so what I want to do now, that might be too loud. Give me a
You working with that equipment, Brother Rich?
yeah. I just turned the volume up on the mixer.
Okay.
Let me put my video back up. In the meantime, before we get started again, family, make sure y'all donate to the Cash App. I just posted the link. Make sure you support independent media. Once again, I want to thank everybody who joined. I just did a fast with it's funny you talked about food and mental health, Professor Griff. I think that's something that as a community, Black people, we don't really make the connection between food and mental health, or sugar or salt or dairy or whatever the case may be. It's just, we've been eating this way for so long, soul food and things of that nature. It just doesn't make sense to us, Professor Griff. So somebody out there who thinks that makes no sense, I'm depressed because I ate a burger, nigga. Could you pretty much explain that, what do you mean by food? By food could affect your mental health, Professor Griff?
The foods that we take into our body nourishes the systems of the body. It nourishes the blood. It nourishes us. But some foods will also have an effect on the body. For example, you ever notice certain foods you eat, it make you cranky and moody? How about when you don't eat? Does it make you cranky and moody? And then when you get food in your system, you feel better. But if you put too much sugar in your system, you have this real extreme high, you amp, and then you crash. So food does have an effect on the body. But now the question is, does it have an effect on your attitude, your mood? You understand what I'm saying?
They got the term hangry. Remember, the term hangry? When you're hungry and angry? Yeah, so yeah.
Right, because a lot of meat eaters will take on the emotions of the meat that they're eating. You understand what I'm saying? My wife was doing a study and she was looking at it, so deep to the point where you eat. If you're sitting down at a restaurant and there's planes and there's trains and taxis and lights and all this kind of, it will affect your digestive system. You understand what I'm saying? This is why it's and a lot of times if you eat alone, it affects you. Notice other cultures eat together. Right. Ethiopians, you always see the Mexicans sitting out on the ground, sharing food. Ethiopians eat with their hand, sharing food, and the whole idea, because it's supposed to be a festive thing. You're supposed to calm down. You're supposed to enjoy the food. You understand what I'm saying? There's a process in the whole digestive thing. So yeah, but you're talking about a fast food society. You're talking about junk food junkies. You're talking about the ingredients and sugars that are in junk food and fast food and foods that are not even natural. These sweeteners are not even natural. How do you think the sweeteners will affect your mood and affect the body and affect your thinking? Of course, the food plays a role, man. It plays a role.
Indeed.
A very significant role. You
Mm-hmm.
understand what I'm saying? Look at the last time you got into a heated argument, and then look at the last 3 meals you had.
Look
You
at the
understand what I'm
last
saying?
time you got in an argument and look at the last 3 meals you had.
Yes. What did I eat that day? What was going on? What influenced me to kind of, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The food has a lot to do with it. I think the environment, because if there's always something chaotic going on around us, that's that hood disease, remember?
Yeah, I
The hood
remember that.
disease is
Yeah.
we live in the hood and we used to hearing gunshots. So if somebody's shooting, we like, oh, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But to the average person, like, yo, like, what is that? Like, you understand what I'm saying? But to a lot of people, planes and trains, always, remember you and I, we always heard a fire truck every time we come on.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
We always used to hear fire trucks and cop cars and sirens.
Yeah.
It's like, that's hood disease, man. That will affect you.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, you have to eat in the midst of all of that. Yeah, no. So understand something, Brother Rich. The food that we need that should be nutrients to the bodies that we have are foods that we don't have access to. Like, for example, we have to go to the farmer's market in order to get soursop and papayas and dragon fruit and some of these other things. Then you got to go to someplace else to get the herbs. Then we got to go to the Indian people to get the spices. You understand what I'm saying? You don't have access to that in the hood.
For real.
So we have to understand something. In order to nourish the body properly, we have to have access to the necessary foods, to the necessary minerals. I got to say minerals because I was on my Dr. Sadie binge, and he's talking about minerals. The minerals, you have to have certain things that nourish the body. But when I say nourish the body, not only the organs and the immune system, but the blood, all right, and then the oxygen, the air we breathe, and more importantly than any of those things is the water.
Right.
You understand? So much so that I said to myself, okay, 2020, I gotta kill the plastic. I can't drink water out of plastic, and I gotta, so my wife had, I showed you this before. My wife had bought me the Myron glass.
Yeah. Show the family. Show let me see it.
Okay, yeah, the Myron glass is beautiful, man, and it's one of those. It's really, really beautiful, and it really works, man. So when you, even if I sat this out and the sun hit it, it filters the sun because of the glass,
right?
And it protects the water. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of times, if this was plastic and it sat out in the sun and the sun hit that plastic, releasing those chemicals in the water, and then you taking that into your system. So the Myron glass, it filters all of that. The dark crystal glass, it looks black, but it's really a really dark, dark, dark blue. And yeah, and a lot of times I just keep it in this. I keep it in this little pouch right here. And I think it's a beautiful thing, man. We got to move away from the plastic, man. They're starting to legislate certain and give companies fines if they produce X amount of plastic, because you can't destroy it. You can't get rid of it. I came up with a suggestion that I put out there that why don't you just take all of the plastic that we can't throw away because you can't destroy it really without putting toxins in the air. Why don't you just take it and build a factory where we can lay out strips of it and put it on the highway? Then we can run wires through it to make that connection. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Roads and miles and miles and miles of plastic. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You can't throw it away. What are you gonna do? Just sit it out in the ocean? You understand what I'm saying? So we're the ones that's got to come up with the solutions, man, to save this planet, man.
Indeed.
We really are. We may not think we're the ones, but yeah, bro.
Yes. Griff, do you think there's a connection between the decline of mental health and how promiscuous men and women are? Females aren't as should a female get down like a male as far as sex? I mean, if you're looking at Instagram, if you're looking at pop culture and hip hop culture, that is, they say when we have sex, we're sharing energies. And
Right.
when you're sharing 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different energies, they say that could kind of make you go haywire, something like that. So do you think there's any connection there, or do you think we've always been fucking everywhere and it's pretty much nothing has changed there?
Well, Brother Rich, to be honest with you, we've never been that people. We've been bred to be that people on the plantation. Um, and I think the process that they have taken us through was to make us the buck, was to make us the one that go into any and everyone, 5 and 6 women, for the next couple of days and walk away because they wanted to produce more slaves. They wanted to produce more children to work the fields. You understand what I'm saying? And you got to keep in mind, Brother Rich, study Joy Leary's work when she talks about the whole idea of there was no such thing as marriage on the plantation. This is the concept that we've adopted, jumping over the broom, because we came up with these rituals with what we had at our disposal. We swept floors. So the ritual that we came up with, we would just take the broom, lay it out, hold hands, jump over it, and we were married, because there was no such thing as you being married on the plantation. That was illegal. You understand what I'm saying? So they made us into this Negro that you see today, this nigger that you see today, and these habits that we have. So yeah, there's a direct relationship and direct link to the whole being the way we are as far as sharing energy with multiple different partners, simply because the whole idea of the institution of marriage has been destroyed in who we are as a people. You talked about finances the other few minutes ago, and it's like Elijah Muhammad said that the 3 things that they would never teach us is the science of marriage, the science of mating, pardon me, the science of finance, and the science of military, of defending ourselves. And and this is what we're dealing with today. You understand what I'm saying? So even with this whole idea of marriage, we don't take it as serious as we should to build a nation. You understand what I'm saying? We just don't. We haven't been educated, Brother Rich. Did you personally go through a rites of passage program?
No.
But later on, you got it though.
Yeah.
To be the Brother Rich that you are today, you had to get it somewhere. And little do we know it or not, you and I, or brothers like us, go through the rites of passage in the street. I remember you up on 125th, going through going through those turbulent years to build what you have now, right or wrong.
Indeed, yeah.
It was a form of rites of passage. It's either gonna make you or break you, man. And you stuck with it, and here you are. Well, I went through that several times. I went in the street. I went through it in the nation. I went through it in the military. You understand what I'm saying? And I went through it in some other organizations that I was in, coming into manhood. And I still answer to my elders at almost 60 years old.
Griff, we live in what we call the information age. And
right.
A lot of people talk a lot of shit about religion at this time. They feel as though religion, as they, as they famously said, I think it's Karl Marx, is the opium of the masses. But it seems as though the more we got away from religion, the more we deteriorated, more morally, psychologically, and in different ways. Is there any truth to that? Do you think there's any truth to us leaving religion and losing our mental health, or losing, just our moral fiber as a people?
I think it was a dressed up untruth. I don't want to say lie. It was a dressed up untruth. It wasn't leaving religion, Brother Rich. It was the thing that we deposited in religion that we stayed connected to. Because we had something deeper than religion prior to this religious stuff. So what we did was, when they came to get us and did what they did to us during the Ma'afa, we took what we had and we hid it in the religion. And that's what we held on to. Once we lost that, that was the problem. So then what we tried to do is, then when they allowed us to, and we did build the church, we called it the African so-and-so church. You understand what I'm saying? We called it the African Methodist. We called it the African whatever. And we used to have that. Now they done dropped the African thing altogether, and now we have something that looks like a facsimile thereof of what we had, but it's empty and it's void. That's why there's so many people in the building, but no souls are getting saved. A lot of lost souls in the building shouting and screaming, but nah, those are the ones you see on Instagram taking their clothes off. Those are the ones you see the hood fights on YouTube. Those are the same people. I defy anyone to prove that incorrect. If you stop some of these people that are doing some of these things and ask you, what religion are you? Oh man, could you go to church? Yeah, man, I'm a Christian. Okay. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That we stop and ask these people that do these things. Yeah, they're tied to a religion. But if you're tied to a religion and the religion is not helping you correct those things that you're doing, then what you doing? Right. That's not religion at all. Religion is not what you say. Religion is what you do. For real.
Let's take one question before we get out of here, family. This is Brother Rich with the living legend, Professor Griff. I'm gonna take one question before we get out of here tonight. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Unexpected Show Wednesday night. We will be back to our regularly scheduled show Monday. So stay tuned next Monday at 11 o'clock, family. But to close it out, give me a good question for Professor Griff, family. Give me a good question.
While they're coming up with the question, I just want to let you know, Brother Rich, this Sunday I will be at the Grammys, and I'm going to experience it because they're honoring us and giving us a Lifetime Achievement Award in April. And I've heard something about the Grammys Hall of Fame for Public Enemy. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm going to go experience, and I'm going to keep you abreast of what's going on. And because when I talk to you on Monday, I'll still be in California, in LA. All right?
Indeed.
So I'll give you firsthand dibs on what's happening.
Definitely congratulations on that, my brother.
Oh, thank you, man.
That is something you brothers, it's nothing like you brothers, man. Nothing could compare to what y'all did. And y'all need to be honored.
Oh, give thanks.
All day, every day. So, congratulations on that.
I can honestly say I do get that from our people everywhere I go, man. Black people be like, from the TSA officer at the airport to the lady that worked at, at the health food store, or the brother that was at Home Depot. And he's like, man, yo, hold up for a second. Take off the apron, man. Like, I just want to take a picture with you. I'm like, cool, bro. You understand what I'm saying?
Right,
whatever.
Right. Dope, man. Yeah, so shout out to Chuck D, Flavor Flav, Professor Griff, the whole crew.
Terminator X, the S1Ws, the Bomb Squad, DJ Lord, all of us.
Indeed. What y'all talking about in the chat? Somebody asked an unrelated question. What music software do you use, Black Magic?
I use Reason 10. What you use?
The MPC, and I use Ableton. I switch up a lot. I use the MPC sometime, I use Ableton, and I use Machine, Native Instruments Machine sometime.
Yeah, I stick with Reason, man, because I've been rocking with Reason ever since they came out.
Yeah, I used to use Reason a lot, and I haven't used it in a couple of years. I don't switched around so much, but Reason is the shit. So
yeah.
I definitely need to. That combinating and Thor and all of that.
Oh my God, yes, it's ridiculous. But some people, and my wife would tell you this, and some of my partners would tell you, every time I play a beat, people always say, "Who did that?" And I said, "I did it." Like I'm not capable. You understand what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm producing my album. I don't. Yeah. Yeah.
Indeed, man. Indeed. When you got any music coming out anytime?
As a matter of fact, I was supposed to have released my album the other day on Dr. Martin Luther King's Born Day, but the tour started with the Black History 101 Mobile Museum. I couldn't get it done in time enough, so I'm almost there. I think I'm gonna push it back to the end of March, and I'm going to release it then. It's called the Energy Code.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the Energy Code,
Energy Code.
Indeed. Yeah, the Energy Code. Yeah.
What is that? Ask for what he thinks about. Yeah, all right. Brother Rich, ask Professor Griff what he thinks about Joe Brown saying Black women facilitated slavery and calling Black men weak for not defending them. I don't know exactly what's going on with that. I don't know if you do. Professor Griff?
Yeah, I've heard it, and I tried to process it. I just was trying to figure out, historically speaking, or what is he talking now? He's talking the psychological effects of slavery. What is he? I just couldn't. I tried to understand it.
Yeah, we would need to do more research on what Joe Brown said and get his exact quote to answer that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to,
Right.
we want to do that justice. We want to do that justice. Definitely.
Yeah, we don't want to make it any more complicated by quoting and like they do mental health. They misdiagnose us, and they take our aggression and our depression as being and they criminalize it.
Yeah. Somebody in the chat asked about medical marijuana. And that's a good question because we use, in our community, we medicate with the weed. We got a bad day, a brother come home and light up a blunt or whatever. So what do you think about medical marijuana or the legalization of marijuana? Because I know Wesley Muhammad, he comes down hard on the medical marijuana. He's like, yo, y'all need to stay away from that. So what's your thoughts on that, Professor?
I think Wesley Muhammad is absolutely 1000% correct, because if they have weaponized all these other things, what makes you think all of a sudden now, after they unlocked all these brothers up for selling weed, they're going to turn around now and make it legal? They're going to make the money now legally. Keep you locked up, but they're going to make the money legally. And then the medical marijuana that they are strategically, that we have access to, what is in this stuff, man? So we compounding the problem legally now. So if you legally lose your mind, then the state is not held responsible for you. Wow. And then they're going to find a way to criminalize it, because I heard that they're going to start, officers are going to start giving you blood tests when they pull you over.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So the breathalyzer, and they're going to take your blood, and it's like, man, bro, they about to put you away for a minute. You know why they want to take the blood, Brother Rich? Because they want to know whose weed you got in your system. And if it ain't ours, it's a problem.
Shit.
Seriously.
Crazy, man.
Very crazy.
Listen, once again, family, I want to thank you for tuning in. I want to thank Professor Griff for coming on the show. We will be back next Monday at 11 o'clock. So make sure you'll tune in for the show next Monday at 11 o'clock. Besides that, I want to tell everyone, stay tuned. I'm coming out with this meditation album soon. I'm working on it right now. I was supposed to drop it. But this meditation genre, family, is a genre. Me and Griff was talking about it before we got on here. His Queen Soleil, she's actually, I don't know. I don't want to say it if, the whole.
No, she is.
Okay, so I can say it,
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, she's working on something with yoga. And, it's time that we go in that industry. So I'm glad you told me that, Griff. And I think we got to take over that industry. That whole, I guess what they call it, new age or something.
I think that's what they call it, but we have to be present, Brother Rich. We have to be present in it to be represented, because this is the sacred science that they have got from us any old way.
Anyway, right.
This is our sacred science that we need to get back, because this, what you're talking about doing, is part of the healing.
And that's exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Because
that's the part of.
My album is what's the balance? What's the ma'at to that? What's the balance to that?
Right.
We have to be able to calm it down. You understand what I'm saying? And meditate and breathe. And meditate and breathe and calm it down, man. You understand what I'm saying?
Indeed.
Take off all the jewelry, push back from the computer, calm it down so we can hear our heartbeat and breathe. Soleil's first single, Pranayama, the breath, breathing. You understand what I'm saying? And breathe and get back to the self, man. The solution to our problems are here, man.
Inside, right.
They're not out there, bro.
That's where happiness lies, huh?
Exactly.
They say
we try to go back in and get it, and guess who's blocking it? We are.
Right.
We have to get out of the way sometime and go back and get it, man, because the solution is here.
Indeed, man. Indeed. Listen, with that being said, Griff, man, I want to thank you for coming back on the show. And I guess I'll see you next Monday, my brother.
Let me let people know that I do have the Alternative Black Studies course It started in January. It's a self-paced course. People can come sign up for the course, and it's everything from the concept of the gene code, the origin of the creator and the self, beyond the self, because of the self, the purpose of the self, all the way through Black history, where we are all over the planet. I'm dealing with metaphysics. I'm dealing with time signature. Everything that we need when we say, I want to get knowledge of self. This is what I'm putting in this particular curriculum, the Alternative Black Studies course, man. And people could just reach me at 678-557-2919, at 678-557-2919. Send me a text and I'll send you some information on the course, man.
Indeed. With that being said, family, tell them about your YouTube channel also. Did you tell them?
Oh, okay, yeah, definitely. My YouTube channel is Serious Minds RNTV, and of course, you can reach me at seriousmindsinfo@gmail.com. What I'm trying to do with the YouTube channel, not what I'm trying to do, what I'm actually doing with the YouTube channel is everything that I do has to be in sync for our greater good. All right. Like I said, I'm moving away from always having these shock value kind of conversations on the channel, and you watch it, you get angry and you get excited, and then we do nothing. It's like, it's almost like dopamine. You understand what I'm saying? No, if you come to the channel, I want you to be able to take away from something from the lessons and the conversation that we have on the channel. Remember, Brother Rich, we have to leave places, spaces, and people better than we found them.
Indeed.
And Serious Minds RNTV on YouTube.
With that being said, we out here. Peace, family.
Peace.